Good morning. This morning it's 0 degrees and we're at Cromer, and I've been here since about 6:30 looking at the fantastic moon that was over the pier, and I've had a walk down the beach, taking some pictures, lifted the drone, and I'm currently up alongside Cromer Lighthouse, which you can hopefully see behind me, which stands a little bit to the south of the town. And as you well know, we make a few videos during the winter of places to visit in the Norfolk area to help other motorhomes and caravanners plot away around this wonderful coastline. And today we're in Cromer. Come with me. Well, it's quite a nice walk up to the lighthouse from the beach, but it's quite an interesting path getting down. And I'll show you as we walk down the path. It's a zigzag path all the way to the bottom, and it's relatively slippy. So a little bit of room for caution, but it was well worth a walk up there. It's an interesting lighthouse. I've got a bit of a thing about lighthouses. They always interest me. My favourite lighthouse is at Haysborough, which is down the coast, which if you've watched previous videos, you know I regularly take a visit there. And it's really quite modern, I suppose, the Cromer Lighthouse. But all the way along this coastline, as I've said before, it's dropping into the sea, so you've got to be ever so careful when you're walking past the headlands. This morning when I came, the tide was right in, so you had to walk fairly close to the headland as well, and you've got to watch for landslips in places, particularly as you're walking down towards Overstrand. But it's still quite a good place to be. It's quite safe at the moment, but you just got to follow advice. So here we are at the Banksy painting, or is it painting, or is it graffiti, or either way, it looks like a piece of artwork to me. But it's smaller than I thought it would be, but it's on one of the groins, just on the south side beneath the lighthouse at Cromer. It's quite interesting. I'll zoom in and let you have a look. As with all Banksy's paintings, there's always a meaning behind it. I think you can guess what it's meant to be. There are an awful lot of second homes on the North Norfolk coast. I think sometimes it causes a price problem, certainly in the premium locations around the Burnhams. But yeah, it's quite good. I do regard them as art, really. I don't mind them at all. I think that's pretty cool. I'm surprised they haven't taken some step to protect it. I know other places have. You would have thought the sea water would ultimately have washed it away, so it's worth a try to have a look at it while you can. think it's pretty cool. Cromer's got its collection of coloured beach huts, like a lot of the East Coast seaside resorts, and elsewhere for that matter. But well, probably not quite as attractive as like down at Southwall, but still lighting the place up. We're making his way back down the beach to the pier now, see if we can get a cup of tea. Now, believe it or not, regardless of the fact that it's about 0 degrees still at 9:30, there are people swimming in the sea. You've got to respect that. That's pretty credible. You know, every time I walk along this east coast of East Anglia, I absolutely get thrilled, really. It's been one of the best moves we ever made coming down here. We were happy when we were in Yorkshire, and we're Yorkshire born and bred, and we'll always be proud of it, but just something special about this place. I really, really love living here. It's just sort of, talk about being high on life. It's just an amazing place to come back to. Whenever we go away, we always look forward to coming back to it, and that's a bit unique for us. We sort of not had that before, because I guess we were over familiar, but it's just a great place to live. And certainly for our pastimes, our hobbies, walking, dog walking, running, biking and photography, it's just got everything really. We utterly, utterly love it. This is the working end of the business, where people earn the livings. Sometimes forget with these seaside resorts that other life goes on beyond the actual tourism trade. I've always got the greatest respect for fishermen. It's a hard life. It's a bit like farming really, I guess. It's a bit thankless at times. But thank goodness we've got these people that are prepared to go out to sea, catch fish and provide food. It's a very honourable profession in my view. Check out this old tractor. You've got to respect that. It's been looked after too. It's got a plastic cover over it, protects it from the wet. Obviously still being used. We're coming up now to the R in the Line Museum and Cafe. I don't know whether it's open or not, but it's like an interesting place. Never been in here yet. Walked past it many times, but never been in. It could be interesting. Another old tractor. This one's tied together with string. I love it though. There's the answer. Must be closed for winter. This is the North Sea Coffee Company. You can sit outside on the seawall, even in winter, and have your morning coffee. And if you're more ambitious, the surf school and the surfboard hire shop are open. A bit too much for me though. Quite happy walking along with the cameras. Second-hand surfboards for sale. Surf Life Sailing Club. So there you go. We're coming up to Cromer Pier in about a couple of minutes time. It's special memories for me as a kid. We used to come here, my parents used to bring us, and we'd fish for crabs off the side of the pier. It's still the place to be though for crab fishing. It's every year there's the World Championships in August. And just a bit of a tradition and a novelty. But yeah, it still happens here. So if you come down in August, check it out. And Cromer crab is world famous, of course. I confess not to being a great crab fan, but those that do really rave by it. It's something I suppose I ought to try again. So from a camping aspect, motorhome caravanning in particular, when we used to come, and we still do sometimes come up here just for a couple of days, we tend to stay in the Caravan and Motorhome Club sites. There's one at East or West Runton, I always get those two mixed up, but they're close together, and one that's just outside Cromer, Seacroft I think it's called. I'll put the details below in the mix. The Seacroft one's a bit bigger and it's got a clubhouse, and I know people with families particularly like that one, but we always used to go down to East Runton and walk, because from there you can walk down the beach. I think the big problem with the beaches, of course, in summertime is access for dogs. And sometimes that can be a problem here, but too. But we always seem to manage if you're walking down from East Runton. A surfer's warning. I'd like to offer surfers a further warning. It's bloody cold. Stay out the water. I'm just going to try and take you down under the pier. The water's still larruping up against the side, so it's a bit dodgy, and the slipway is wet. And I know this to my cost, because last time I came here I slipped and fell. I've been making a bit of a habit of that. If you remember the slipping and falling incident in Barra in the Hebrides this year. Maybe it's my age, we'll see. But I'm just going to take you down here carefully and show you just how powerful the North Sea can be. You see what I mean? And there's guys out there on surfboards. So we'll make our way onto the pier now, and if there's a cafe's open, we'll try and get a cup of tea. Cromer Pier. Now this is a blast from the past. Here we go. Looks like we've got an Adele tribute act. The 7 Drunken Nights, Wind in the Willows, and the Story of Soul. Yep, Wind in the Willows for me, definitely. Doesn't look like the cafe's open though. We'll have to look a bit further for that. Yep. Oh, I don't know actually. Yeah, it probably is. There's somebody in there anyway. Oh no. Sorry, we're closed. Hope's risen, hope's dashed. And here we are, onto the pier. And here we go, walking up to the Pavilion Theatre. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? These things are becoming a rarity, really. There's some on the south coast. And of course there's the Southwall Pier. And all the bits and bobs of piers about, but the grand piers of the Victorian era, lots of them have fallen into the sea. It's lovely there's still one here. And then right on the end of the pier is the lifeboat. Busy lifeboat this, and indeed quite a few of them are around the North Norfolk coast. A lot of the time because people get caught out on the tide. It's certainly when you get north of here up to Holcombe and up towards the salt marshes around Blakeney, you've got to be very careful about tide times. Yeah. I just thought the church here and the hotel in front was always quite imposing on the headland. Believe it or not, the tide is actually going out as we speak. There was a high tide at sunrise this morning. Well, disappointed as I am that we can't have a cup of tea in my favourite cafe on the pier at Cromer. I'm sure there'll be somewhere else. We're just going to start making our way back to the car now. Pretty satisfied with some of the imagery I've got. And it's been good to play with the new camera this morning. We're all back in the office, or the man cave should I say. I've just reviewed some of the images. There's some interesting ones in there. I'll stick them in now. If you're interested, hang around. If you're not, thanks for watching. If you can subscribe to the channel, we'd really appreciate it. It helps us develop, and we're really grateful. Or follow us on social media. Our Instagram, Facebook links are beneath this video in the captions. Thanks once again. Martin out.